Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the channel. This has been long postponed, but I have got another weekly watches to do. There's quite a lot to go through. I was going to do it last week, but I didn't quite feel like I had enough to talk about last week. Plus, I didn't get back until Sunday afternoon last week. This is my first sort of free weekend that I've had in nearly a month, so it's the only chance I've really had to record this video. Very free today, so yeah, but we've got quite a few to go through, as you can imagine, from sort of the last month-ish. So as I have done, grab yourself a hot drink and we will go through all of the films that I have watched physically over the last few weeks. Kicking it off with a rewatch of Patriots Day, starring Mark Wahlberg, directed by Peter Berg, who he has also collaborated on Lone Survivor and Deepwater Horizon, which came out around the same time as this one. All true stories. This one is set around the events that took place at the Boston Marathon in 2012, I believe it was. When the marathon was basically bombs, two separate bombs going off at the marathon. And it's basically about the FBI and the police working to find the bombers. And it sort of starts leading up to the events. You get introduced to certain characters that you know are going to be involved in some way or another in the bombing. And you got Mark Wahlberg's character, who's just a cop, who's sort of at the centre of it. He's been tasked to sort of assist with finding the two bombers, and yeah, it's just about all these different people that helped, well, not just helped, were involved, shall I say. And I just like how the pieces come together in the puzzle as the story goes along. So you start with, you're introduced to certain characters and you like, hang on a minute, how do they fit into the story? But sort of as the story progresses and you find out more about what's going on, it all clicks, and it's a fantastic film. Quite sad, obviously, because of what happened, because there were some fatalities, and not all in the bombing as well. Just a really good true story. Glad that I rewatched it because it had been quite some time since I watched it last. Good supporting cast in here as well. You got the likes of John Goodman, who plays like sort of the police commissioner. You got Kevin Bacon, who's the FBI special agent in charge investigating the bombing. J.K. Simmons, who's like a local cop, but sort of you find out how he fits into the story towards the end of the film. Michelle Monaghan, who plays Mark Wahlberg's character's wife. Just a really solid story. If you like a good true story, I would highly recommend this. It's a very riveting watch. Like, you don't want to take your eyes off of the screen because you just want to find out what happens. Although it's a true story, it's just the way that the film is. So yeah, that is my first watch, which is Patriots Day. Next up, a first time watch of a film recommended by the man himself, Sammy G, in the house. Take This Waltz, with Seth Rogen, Michelle Williams, Luke Kirby, and Sarah Silverman. I thought this was okay. Sort of an average film for me. Didn't quite love it as much as I'd hoped, but if I'm being perfectly honest with you, I didn't know too much about it going into it. So it basically follows Michelle Williams' character. The film opens where she's sort of on like a sort of vacation on her own, and she comes across Luke Kirby's character, and they sort of have sparks flying, but then you find out that she's actually married, and she's married to Seth Rogen's character, who they don't seem like a right fit for each other. He just so happens to live across the road from her, which is just a coincidence, and it's sort of a will they, won't they, will she leave Seth Rogen for him, that sort of thing. It's alright. Like I said, I enjoyed it, but I just thought I was sort of expecting a bit more from it, if I'm being honest. So it didn't completely land, and I think it was a tad too long for me personally, nearly the 2 hour mark, And a film like this, hour 30, hour 40, I think would have been perfectly fine. So yeah, that is Take This Waltz. Then I did quite a few rewatches this week. This is all sort of in the last week now. That's what I mean. I would have only had 2 to talk about if I'd have done this video last week. So this is sort of current for last week now, everything else. And first a rewatch of Red Heat with Arnie and James Belushi. Good buddy cop, underrated 80s film. Basically about this Russian soldier who comes over to America, I think it's Chicago, to basically bring back these terrorists, I suppose they are, that were responsible for killing his partner and friend back over in Russia. And he eventually, although he's sort of a loose cannon, he has to team up with James Belushi's Chicago cop to bring them to justice, take the criminal back home. It's a lot of fun, very violent. You don't get as many of the classic Arnie one-liners in here, but it's just a very fun, easy to watch 80s action comedy. And as I said, I think it's underrated. You've got Peter Boyle in here, who plays the captain of the police station in Chicago. Gina Gershon, who plays sort of the girlfriend of the criminal he's trying to basically get. Even Lawrence Fishburne has a small part in here, credited as Larry Fishburne, as he was back in the day. Yeah, really, really fun 80s action film. Got a very small performance from great character actor Brian James, who popped up quite a lot in the 80s in these sorts of films. He's in another film that I'll mention very shortly. But yeah, that is Red Heat, which was my third watch. Right, next up, first time watch, and I picked this up whilst I was away last weekend. It was in my watch list? Yeah, watch list on Letterboxd, and I'd heard numerous people mention this recently, so I thought I'd grab it in the Arrow sale and give it a watch, and that is Alex Proyas's Dark City. Really good film. I really did enjoy this. It basically follows Rufus Sewell's character John Murdoch, who wakes up in a bathtub full of water in a hotel room with absolutely no memory of who he is or how he got there, to go into the room to find that there's a murdered woman on the floor with weird spiral carvings in her body. So enter these pale, tall, weird-looking guys called the Strangers, who are trying to capture him for a reason you find out a bit later on in the film. You've also got a second sort of story trying interweave in with Jennifer Connelly's character, who plays his wife, who's trying to find out what's happened to him, where he's gone. She obviously sort of gets help from William Hurt's detective character, who's investigating these murders that he believes could be linked to her husband. Really, really good story. I'm not going to go into it any more than that, because I'll just say go watch it. It's like a sci-fi neo-noir type film, but easily could be spoiled. It's got one of those big twists at the end that really does pay off, I think. Just a really out there sci-fi film that I really dug. Great performances in there. Apparently they used the same set as The Matrix. They filmed sort of one after the other, so it's got that look to it. It's got certain aspects of the story that are sort of reminiscent of The Matrix as well. Really do enjoy this one. That is Dark City. Next up, another rewatch of another classic 80s film. This time, Tango and Cash. Sylvester Stallone, Kurt Russell. Another great supporting performance from Brian James, playing a British sort of henchman to Jack Palance's villain. Great stuff. Just really memorable one-liners in here. Just a lot of fun, a lot of action. Exactly what you want from a buddy cop film from the 80s. I've had a blast with this one. Really did enjoy it. And yep, that is Tango and Cash. Basically just two cops that are accused of a crime they did not commit, of course, and they've got to try and set out and prove their innocence and find out who actually is responsible for this crime. So yeah, Tango and Cash. Next up, we have Freddy Got Fingered, another one recommended to me by Sammy G. Yeah, he did warn me of this one. It is very out there, very raunchy, very wrong as well. A lot of it threw me off. A lot of his character's immaturity just grated on me, rubbed me up the wrong way, shall we say. But there were also some funny parts to the film as well that I did laugh at and thought were interesting. I like Rip Torn as his dad. I thought he was just great in the film. But yeah, it's just a very weird and out there early noughties comedy. I'm gonna keep it in the collection because I thought it was alright. Like I said, some of it I found funny, some of it I just thought was just a bit stupid and didn't work for me and was wrong. But yeah, that is Freddy Got Fingered. Next up, we have another rewatch. As I said, I've got quite a few rewatches in this week. Another Arnie film. This time it was a rewatch of Commando. Really good 80s action film, just really easy to watch. Basically follows John Matrix, played by Arnie, who's sort of I suppose he's a retired commando, hence the title. And one day there's these rogue sort of, I don't really know what you would call them, not commandos, like sort of, they're a rogue group basically, shall we say, and they're picking people off one by one. They try and take Arnie out, only to kidnap his young daughter, and obviously he then goes, and all hell breaks loose as he tries to get his daughter back from the ones that kidnapped him. Really fun film, great scenes. The scene on the airplane with the guy that escorts him, shall we say, that was great. It happened very quickly, but it's great. All of the henchmen, like Sully and all of that, they're all it's just awesome 80s stuff. Obviously he gets involved with Rae Dawn Chong's character, who just gets involved. He gets her involved, really. Yeah, it's just a really fun film. The ending, obviously, where he's on, I think it's an island, to get his daughter back. Just a lot of fun. Dan Hedaya, just bonkers, like crazy accent he's got going on in here as well. Yeah, really fun rewatch that was of Commando. Then we have first time watch, all over the place there, sorry. Feeling Minnesota with Keanu Reeves, Cameron Diaz, Vincent D'Onofrio, Delroy Lindo, and Dan Aykroyd. And this, from the cover, would look like a rom-com, wouldn't it? It is not a rom-com. It's got romantic elements to it, even some black comedy moments to it, but it couldn't be further from the truth. Basically, it follows Cameron Diaz's character, who is about to get married to Vincent D'Onofrio's character. She doesn't want to get married to him at all. She's sort of forced into it. She doesn't love him, but the powers that be are forcing her into this. Enter his brother, played by Keanu Reeves, who instantly falls for her. They fall for each other, shall we say, and decide to run away together. One thing sort of happens, and it takes quite a dark turn. But I suppose there are more comedic elements than you think to it. Very good. I mean, Dan Aykroyd playing a sleazy, dirty cop. Delroy Lindo playing sort of a thug. Vincent D'Onofrio's character's awful. I mean, all of them are flawed, I suppose, to some extent. But it wasn't what I was expecting it to be. But I did really enjoy it. It's a short one, hour and a half. Nice, easy watch. I recommend this to Sam and Ash because we like the similar sort of films, and I think both of you will get something from this if you haven't seen it. So yeah, that is Feeling Minnesota. Next up, another one that I think Sam picked up recently on Blu-ray. I can't remember if he said he'd watched it or not, but it just grabbed me when he was talking about it. and that's How to Lose Friends and Alienate People. Really enjoyed this one. Simon Pegg basically plays this character. He's like a wannabe popular journalist at this very small independent British entertainment, not magazine, paper I suppose. And one day he slags off the head of this big global paper or magazine, I suppose, played by Jeff Bridges, and it catches his attention and he offers him a job right there and then on the spot. So he flies him over to New York, and he gets what he's always wanted, a place, or he thinks a place in with Hollywood, basically, with the celebrities. Along the way, he meets Kristen. I always get confused. It's Kristen Dunst, isn't it? Kirsten Dunst. Kristen Stewart. Kirsten Dunst. There we go. Who also works for the magazine. It's sort of a will they, won't they? You got Megan Fox as an up and coming actress. Gillian Anderson plays her like head of PR, publicist sort of thing. It's very fun. You got lots of British actors that have very small roles in the film that just pop up here and there. But it's a fun film. Simon Pegg does like a narration like he does in some of the Cornetto trilogy films. Just an easy watch, I think. Has some very funny moments in there as well. Yeah, just one that I really did enjoy. That's How to Lose Friends and Alienate People. Next up, can't remember who recommended this one, Cold in July, which is sort of a crime thriller from 2014, based on a novel, I believe. Yep, by Joe R. Lansdale. Basically starts as a home invasion. The film opens, a guy breaks into this family man's house, the family man played by Michael C. Hall, and he accidentally shoots him dead. Enter the home invader's father, played by Sam Shepard, who is a very sinister character to start with, wants to try and get revenge. One thing leads to another, and not everything is as it seems. There are some secrets being kept, and I'm not going to go any further to it, because you don't need to know any more than that. It takes a turn from there, and this was just a fantastic watch. You just don't see things coming. You don't expect what happens to happen. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how Don Johnson fits into the story. I will just say, go and watch it for yourself to find out. Really good stuff. I mean, it says on the back, fans of John Carpenter, Quentin Tarantino and the Coen brothers will love this film, and I can agree there are definitely aspects from all three of those directors put into this film. And it's just a blast. Set in the late 80s as well. Really fun film. Great soundtrack in there as well. Highly recommend it, but I can't talk about it anymore because I don't want to spoil it. I say go into this one as blind as you can. That is Cold in July. Next up, another rewatch, and this time a rewatch of The Expendables 2. It had been years since I watched this one, but I think from memory now, of the four films, this probably is my favourite Expendables film. It's just awesome. You get some awesome action set pieces in it. A great ensemble cast of just iconic action heroes from everybody's childhood. The scene at the airport at the end was like almost orgasmic, if I'm being honest with you. Just watching in a line, you got like Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Willis and Arnie in a line, just shooting the shit out of everyone. And these are like three of the ultimate 80s action heroes, 80s and 90s. And they're on screen together, just absolutely obliterating the bad guys. And it's just so fucking awesome. Some of the one-liners in here as well. There's a bit where you've got Bruce and Arnie's character, and they're in the airport and they're shooting each other. And he goes throughout the film. He keeps going. Oh, I'll be back, and he says it again. And Bruce just turns to him and says something like, "You're always going to be back, or I'll go this time." And then Bruce walks off, and Arnie just goes yippee-ki-yay, and I'm like, that just really got me on this one. And then you got Chuck Norris in here as well. Awesome seeing Chuck Norris. in one of his, pretty much his last film, even if it is just a small role in the film, and he just comes behind Arnie's character, and he's just like, I think he goes something like, "Who's next? Bloody Rambo," and that got me as well. Yeah, Expendables 2, just such a fun action film, ripping off the cars of the smart car and shooting people, both of them, as they go. It's just such a fun, just that, for that payoff at the end, just the whole airport scene at the end. It's worth the price of admission alone, in my opinion, because I just had a dirty big grin on my face the whole time. Yeah, really did enjoy this on a rewatch. That's Expendables 2. Next up, we have a first time watch of City on Fire, which when we were in HMV on the meetup, Pete recommended to me. I think it might have been Pete who I saw mention it on one of his videos, sort of fairly recently, to be fair. And I really enjoyed Hard Boiled, so I thought I'll get into more of this sort of Hong Kong cinema. So I picked this one up because this is another one that Arrow have recently released, and it basically follows Chow Yun-fat's character, who's sort of a undercover cop, and this is his last job. He wants to get out of the undercover work. His uncle basically assigns him to investigate these, or get in with this gang that's been robbing jewelers over the city. And it's just an undercover cop sort of story, really. It's about him working inside to try and bring them down. You've got this CID unit that's sort of working against him. They don't like him. It's great. It's quite sad as well. The ending, it's not the type of ending you expect. I can 100% see how this inspired Tarantino for Reservoir Dogs, because of the sort of story going on in it. But it's a lot of fun. It's not really an action film. There are action elements to it, not in the sense that Hard Boiled is, of course. It's more of a cop thriller, I would say, but it's really well executed. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's City on Fire. 4 to go. Next up, another rewatch of Poseidon. Just a fun disaster film with Kurt Russell, Josh Lucas, Richard Dreyfuss. Lots of people pop up in here. I mean, it's a remake of the Poseidon Adventure, which I am yet to see, but it's just an easy watch, hour and a half, guilty pleasure type film that you just turn your brain off, leave it at the door, and just enjoy what you're watching. A massive cruise liner, a massive rogue wave hits this cruise liner, turns it over, and it's about a group of survivors trying to escape, basically. Get out the bottom of the ship, which is now the top of the ship. And it's a lot of fun. Just cheesy, exactly what you kind of want from a disaster film. And I believe this was Wolfgang Petersen's last film he directed before he passed away. It's just a really, really fun film. If you're a fan of the original and you haven't seen this, I'd recommend it, because I can't speak on the original because, like I said, I haven't seen it, but I can just say this is a lot of fun and it's a very well done film. So yeah, that's Poseidon. Swig of coffee. Next up, a first time watch of The Delta Force with Chuck Norris. I don't know who Chuck Russell is. And Lee Marvin. There we go, got that right. Who's Chuck Russell? Fun film, fun action film. Score by Alan Silvestri, must have been an earlier score for him. Actually directed by one of the guys that owned Canon at the time. Is it Menahem Golan? Good cast in here. Obviously, alongside Chuck Norris and Lee Marvin, you've got George Kennedy, who I always like. Robert Forster, who plays the villain. Robert Vaughn. Shelley Winters. It's a fun film, basically. These terrorists hijack this plane, and the Delta Force is sent in to deal with them. Simplest terms. Lots of cheesy stuff in here, lots of great action. Just a really fun, easy watch. Only thing I'll say, tad bit too long, I think. I don't know about the sequel. it's like 2 hours 10 minutes, which for an action film like this from the 80s, you sort of think hour and a half, hour 45 maybe, but no, 2 hours 10 minutes. Bit long, bit on the long side, but still a lot of fun. So yeah, that's the Delta Force. And another rewatch, this time a rewatch of Big Trouble in Little China with Kurt Russell. Just a fun, crazy ass 80s Carpenter film. Just weird stuff going on, but I just really enjoy it. You basically got Kurt Russell's truck driver, Jack Burton, gets involved with all sorts. Basically, his friend drags him into this war going on by these two factions in Chinatown and San Francisco. And there's magic and sorcery. You got, I mean, James Hong as Dave Lopan is just, is great. Like, just so very 80s, I will say. Just, he's obsessed with marrying a green-eyed girl because that's what they like, and then he finds two, and you got Kim Cattrall in there, who's sort of the femme fatale kind of character. It's, yeah, just bonkers. It's a lot of fun. Just not your typical type of film, just really out there, mix of lots of different things, comedy, kung fu, everything. Yeah, that's Big Trouble in Little China. And now the last film, which I watched last night, is my absolute highlight of all of these films. One of my favourite first-time watches this year. I remember when this film came out towards the end of 2017, and I didn't really know anything about it, but I was interested by the trailer back then. Never thought anything of it until a few weeks ago. And it popped up somewhere again, and I was like, I never did get around to watching it. So I ordered a copy on DVD, because that's how you get it over here. And it came yesterday, and I thought, you know what, I'll watch it tonight, and I loved it. And that is Brigsby Bear. And Sam, I'm going to say this, and all I need to say to Sam is these two words, and he'll get straight in, and he'll probably have already ordered a copy before the end of the video. Indie drama. There you go, Sam. But it's more than that. It's got comedy elements in it. It's very heartwarming. Basically, it follows this guy, played by Carl Mooney, plays James, who's grown up, basically addicted to this television series, Brigsby Bear. Brought up on it, that's all he really knows. And then one day, it turns out that he was abducted as a child by who he thought was his parents and raised in this house because he never gone outside or anything. And Brigsby Bear was completely made up by his captors. Basically, they made it for him. He's known nothing different. So when he gets back to the real world, goes to live with his real parents and his sister, he's sort of trying to get used to it, the real world and everything that's going on in the real world. He still can't seem to understand that Brigsby Bear was never real. It was made just for him. So sort of to help him cope in the outside world, he decides he's going to make a Brigsby Bear movie to cap the series off for him personally as well. I think it helps. And to start with, his parents, played by Matt Walsh and Michaela Watkins, don't really understand why he's doing this. But eventually everyone in his life comes around to support him and help him in his dreams to make this film. We've got Greg Kinnear, who plays the cop that sort of helps him to start with. And he's like an aspiring has-been actor, so he wants to help him if he can. It's just such a wonderful film. It's such a wonderful film. I mean, certified fresh from Rotten Tomatoes. It's produced by Lord and Miller as well. Brought to us by the guys, the Lonely Island guys. It is just a brilliant film. I'm recommending this to everyone. Obviously Sam more than anyone, because I know he'd like this sort of film. It's a wonderful film that I don't know why it was slept on when it came out, but I really, really enjoyed this. Yeah, one that I can't wait to go back to and watch again, because it just puts you in a good mood as well. Although obviously the start of it's quite dark because of what's going on, and you sort of think it's just so heartwarming come the end, watching this guy and his dreams basically come true. I just really, really liked it. So yeah, that was my last watch of the week, Brigsby Bear. So that is everything I've sort of watched in the last, I'd say, 2 weeks or so. physically. Let me know your thoughts on any of those films that I have watched down below in the comments. And yeah, I will be going live tomorrow as usual, Monday night at 7 o'clock. I'm joined by Kenny tomorrow. Andy has made the very wise decision. He's been pumping out a lot of videos on YouTube recently, so it's more than understandable. He's dropping down to doing every other week now on the streams, which is understandable because it's a big commitment to do a stream every week, especially if it's not your own stream. So I completely understand that. So tomorrow in Andy's place, we have Carlos, Eastwood for Life fan, joining us, who's been on a few times. I think this is his third time coming on. And we will also have a special guest. I don't know who the special guest is yet. It's not been confirmed. Carlos is sorting that out. So that will be tomorrow. And the topic tomorrow, or should I say, because we've been doing sort of actors, looking at a deep dive into sort of actors. We're going to go for Jeff Bridges tomorrow. Interesting actor, I think. Done a lot of films. Some films that some people may not have even heard of, which is the whole point of doing this. So we're going to give that a go and see how it goes, I think, tomorrow. So join us, as usual, at 7 o'clock. If you want to send in your comments or questions to us, we'll always answer them. So yeah, that is tomorrow at 7. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, turn your notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel. Comment down below anything and everything. As you know, I always take the time to get back to anyone that leaves me a comment because I really do appreciate it. And that is it. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.